Hey,
Hello,
welcome to another MannaHouse podcast. My name is Natalie.
and I'm Tino.
We are your hosts, and today we are joined by a very special guest.
Yeah.
So we are going to speak to Chris Cleveland from Stars Go Dim, and this is very, very exciting for me because, yeah, this is music I've rinsed for years. So I'm very excited to speak to Chris. Chris, do you want to introduce yourself? Let us know who you are, where you're from.
Yeah. Well, my name's Chris Cleveland. I'm in a band called Stars Go Dim. I started it a long time ago. Did you just say you've rinsed the music? Is that what you said?
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
cool. I'm
like
gonna add that to
over and
my
over and over.
I'm gonna add that to my vocabulary now. I've been playing music for a long time. I started this band in 2007, so it's almost 20 years old, which is just crazy. But I've been traveling and playing since I was a little kid, since I was like 10 years old. So I'm over 30 years into this. I live in Franklin, Tennessee. I'm sitting in my grandma's rocking chair right now, talking to you
I
guys
love
from
that.
little
So cool.
library in the house, and I'm just happy to be here talking with you guys.
Nice to have
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, that's amazing. 20 years is a long time. Very long time. I'm always super curious of people who are in bands. What's the journey from, young kid loving music to I'm gonna start a band? What's
Oh
what's that
gosh.
what's that journey like?
Well, I grew up in church, and so a lot of the music I was doing, I was playing with. I had a brother that played music, and we had friends kind of, and so we'd go around and play, worship music in churches and things like that. And so we did that for a long time, um, and I don't know if I ever set out and thought, oh, I'm going to be a musician in my life, or this is what I'm going to do forever. I kind of tried, I think, to do other things. I thought I went to college, I got a degree in psychology. I played basketball into college, did all these things, and kind of music just was the thing that stuck. And so in my life, it's been a lot of just walking through doors that have been opened. And then at some point I looked around and I'm 40 years old and I'm still playing music, which is kind of awesome and has its difficulties as well. But even through that, you start out as a 16, 17, 18-year-old kid trying to make music and just doing things you like, and then it kind of snowballs. And then once you actually find some success, you realize that, oh, this is really difficult to do. This is difficult to actually stay in a band and to support that many people and families and things. And so there's new difficulties that come and new challenges that come with it as you grow, and things that you have to kind of navigate and uh, and figure out. And people do it differently, and my path has been probably somewhat unique, but also somewhat typical of a lot of people that have done similar things. But it's definitely not something that I thought, oh, I'm going to do this. It's something that I've looked back and thought, oh wow, I can't believe I've been doing this for so long.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can do anything else.
I love that. It's crazy how God has a plan which may not be the one that we thought we were going to go down. I was hearing through the grapevine, that you're a songwriter, not just for your band, but also for other people,
Hmm.
other artists. You've shared the stage with like many different artists that people will recognize. What's that been like? And are there any songs that you can tell us that you have collaborated on that people may not know was you?
Yeah, well, when Starscream started, we were a mainstream pop band. So I always led worship in churches, but this was not that. And so the first 5, 6, 7 years of that part of the band, we were traveling and playing with some of, if they were cool in 2009, we probably played with them, people from all over the
Yeah.
world, and we kind of toured all over and played. And so there was a lot of that. And then and once I started doing Christian music, I think I put my first Christian song out in 2015 and kind of dove into that. And so now I write songs kind of in a bunch of different genres, actually. So in my space, which is more like Christian CCM music, pop music, I've written obviously songs for myself and other artists. There was this one of my favorite songs. I don't know if anybody heard it. Was a song called "Glory I Couldn't See" by an artist named Mike Donahue, who's the singer for a band called 10th Avenue North. That was one of my favorite songs. But I've written like worship songs for people like Bethel Music or Maverick City Music and people like that. And then even some big like Southern gospel. And I don't even know if you guys have Southern gospel there because it's such an American thing, but it's kind of what I grew up on. But I was over a lot closer to you guys, even writing like EDM dance music with Armin van Buren. He's like the biggest DJ in the world. And so we kind of get around and do things like that. I write some country, I write some pop. Um, but honestly, I just like to come and uh, I like music of all kinds, really. I'm more of a melody person, and so
Mm,
I really get a kick out of that. Um, but I also try to just write my experiences, and so my experiences are kind of in all of those places. So if I'm honest with
mm,
people, and you hear this in my records too, like there's going to be some really faith-based stuff because that's natural to who I am, and there's going to be songs about my kids and love songs and all that kind of stuff. And so I've always tried to be that type of artist that doesn't necessarily write one thing, but writes kind of the experience of my life, if that makes any sense.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, defo.
I'm now so curious about the Southern Gospel because my mom basically would go to the Christian bookshop and just buy up all the Gaither DVDs. So
Yes, yeah.
I have I have an unhealthy amount of knowledge of just
Oh,
that
you and
whole
me
side of
both,
things.
man.
A little kid from Zimbabwe and South London who just knows all about,
Southern gospel.
Bill Gaither, the
Oh my
cathedrals,
gosh.
any signature
Yes.
sound.
I'm trying to think. Okay, well, probably a crossover between CCM and Southern Gospel. There was a band called Avalon, and I had a few songs with them. And then who I had a few songs a couple years ago. I think it was a Southern Gospel group called the Martins, and they're
Yeah,
kind of one of those Gaither groups. And then I had a big single for a guy named Jason Crabb,
yeah.
who is a big singer with the Gaithers and can just sing. He's so good. So yeah, isn't that's crazy. So I wasn't sure if you'd know anything about Southern Gospel or not because it's such a weird like Southern America thing. So that's awesome.
I'm predicting the comments under this video, and it's gonna be my mom saying, "Yes, I know all those people."
Good. Yeah. Well, your mom and my mom would get along really well, so that's funny.
Definitely. Because you're a lover of music, like it seems like you're able to kind of dabble in each genre.
Hmm.
Can I ask, how did you guys find your sound? Because honestly, if I'm listening to a song, I'm like, this sounds like Stars Go Dim. Like it sounds like
I
you guys. So how'd you find like your signature sound?
I think most of that is probably my voice. I bet a lot of it, and so I think I've got a fairly unique voice in the world that we live in. And so I think some of it comes that, and that's the glue that kind of keeps all the records together. In the earlier albums, I think we were probably a little bit more um, like straight up pop music, which is something I love. It's like I can't sing a song and it not be a pop song. I'll take any song, and when I sing it, it just sounds like a pop song. And that's kind of where I naturally go. This latest album, I think, like musically, it does take a shift. Our new record called Roses, and but it's a very pop like modern take, my take on like vintage 70s kind of funky soulful music. And so I think you always get the soulful pop thing with my voice, because I am like this weird mix of like the Gaithers and like, you know, Justin Timberlake. It's just it's a weird combination. And so you get that, I think, through the records. Even if we do kind of change the genre vibe here and there, it still kind of comes across. So I appreciate that. That's a good compliment. I'm glad to know that you can tell.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I think your falsetto,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. It's been really, really interesting just being able to recognize that style that you guys have.
mhm,
Thanks,
very, very
man. I
cool.
appreciate it. Yeah, and I sing higher than people should. Let's be honest about it. But I'm not gonna stop.
You're inspiring us all.
Yeah.
I'm like, I thought I was a soprano, and then I'm like, at this point, like, I might quit, but it's all right.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. On about every record, I try to put a note or two in there that people go, that
Yep,
dude hit that. And so, but those are just for people who can sing. So people like you that be like, oh, nice. This is great.
that is literally the face that we pull.
Yeah.
Literally the, oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. Like, oh,
This
doing
this is
something.
this is me. I feel like this is this is the southern gospel in you, but instead of the low bass notes, you decided to do the opposite and sing the high notes.
That's exactly right. Yeah, that's it.
All right, so the song we're going to talk about today is Discover God. Can you tell us a bit more about what was happening in your life when you wrote that song?
Yeah, I think this song really fits into the record well, and I wrote kind of all the songs off of the record that this is on, a record called Roses, from one question. And it was this. Every time I came into a writer's room with co-writers, I just said, "Hey, who is God to you in real life? And how does this whole thing work? Does it? In the best of times and the worst of times, like when life is going great, when it's going really bad, like how does God meet you? Not what you've heard, not what you hope, not what you've read, but like how has this actually worked in your life?" And overwhelmingly, the response from people as they begin to think through like how God actually interacts is that it's in like these small, like normal moments of life. And so we wrote a bunch of songs from that headspace, and Discover God is one of them. Like the chorus lyric is, it's the way that we love each other, rain in its sunset colors. It's the way that we love each other, rain in its sunset colors. Phone calls home to my mother, that's where I discover God. And so it's just like it's those really normal things. And I think one of the verses it talks about like the pews of the church, kind of turned to the
Yeah.
couch in my living room kind of thing. And
Yeah.
and it's just like those real moments of life, not trying to put on anything, but just saying kind of what it is. And so that's kind of what I was trying to get through to people. It's like, God is in those things that we think he's in, right? Like, but I think more so and more often, he's trying to connect with us in our normal days, like in regular life, in these conversations, and I think that's really where the beauty of life and of God is. And so that's really what this song is about lyrically.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It's a
That is
beautiful
beautiful.
song.
Yeah.
Definitely a beautiful song. Can you talk us through the process of like writing the song in the sense of the melodies, the instruments that you chose? Like, it's it's very funky, very jazzy, like, and the is it like 26 seconds of just
Long intro.
yeah, like
Yeah.
I think
saxophone.
it's
Oh,
a
yeah.
46-second or 43-second, yeah, saxophone intro. So, yeah, it got a little out of hand. Uh, so we started when I wrote this song with a girl named Sarah Reeves and a guy named Micah Kuiper, who are both wonderful writers. Micah's a writer and producer and has been on a bunch of songs, and Sarah's another artist who's honestly a wonderful pop artist. Her songs are so good.
Yeah.
but we wrote it like a lot more straight. Um, where it made on the record, like originally it was like, and so we wrote it that way. Um, and I can't remember if we finished all together, if we finished the whole lyrics or not with it, but I do remember taking it back and me kind of messing with it a whole bunch and kind of getting it um, to the arrangement that it was in. And then I brought in a really good buddy of mine. His name's John Strandell, and he's kind of a new producer in town. And so I actually had him help me produce my vocals for the whole record. And then we wound up kind of co-producing a few songs. And so this was one of the songs that we co-produced together. And so I
Nice.
remember he took it and was really messing with it, and this became kind of a pattern where he'd send an idea and then I'd send an idea, and we were just going back and forth like, hey, you might think this is crazy, but I think we should do this. And so he sent me an idea that he'd had, that basically the first thing he wanted to do was swing the song and give it kind of that like bounce to it that you hear. And I was like, cool, okay. And he put a little demo of it together and sent it my way. And then he also did, like on the choruses, they do these big diamond like stabs. It's the way that we love each other, rain and so dun 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 bom 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 bom, like these big hits in the chorus. And so he came up with that, and I can't remember if it was exactly that way, but I really liked that. And I thought, okay, this is cool for the chorus. His verse did something else, and I can't remember exactly what it was. But I was messing with some things with like that Rhodes sound, and so like dun, da, 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 thing. And I was like, hey, I think let's like put these two ideas together. Um, and so we did that, and then I remember sending him another message like, hey, you might think I'm real crazy for this, but I think the song needs a saxophone intro. And he was like, let's go. So I called up my friend. I had him put saxophone on it. We had a whole string section, like uh, uh, everything on this record are real instruments. So nothing is fake. And so um, we uh, we had the saxophone put on it. We had real strings orchestrated and put on it. And then he's like, dude, I know how the song needs to end. And so he literally sent me a voice note, and like he's a drummer, and so he was like singing the drum parts, and if you listen to the song all the way through, it just gets insane. And one of my good buddies, Lester Stell, wound up playing the drums, who's literally one of the best drummers in the world. He plays drums for Kelly Clarkson right now, among a lot of other people. So he's on television, and all the kind of stuff. Just great drummer. And it's literally like 32nd or 64th notes, like ending the song, kind of stuff. And so and Lester played it exactly like John's voice memo. So like you can A B it and just killed it. And so we went in, and we were recorded. We'd done a few things in different studios, but we recorded the drums in Curb Studios, which is a studio here in Nashville. And it's just the best gear that you could possibly buy. You're talking about like hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of like gear between the sound that's being made and coming through the speakers. And
Yeah.
so this is one of the first songs I listened to, and it's like you can just hear the quality of the
Hmm.
recording is, I think, one of the best sounding recordings that I've ever heard. And then on top of it, it's just funky, man.
It's
It's
so
It
so
funky.
is. It
like
is.
you can't not do this when you hear it. And so it's one of my favorite songs. I love what it says. I love the
Hmm.
process that it was so collaborative between John and I, taking the song that Sarah and Mike and I had written, and kind of creating this whole new thing. I love that we push the boundaries of like what Christian music is, on it. It's become one of my favorite songs. This song is crazy to play. I mean, to have the band and pull it off and do all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, live, that
Yeah.
would be so sick.
It's just unreal. And there's a video. We did a live concert and put it up on YouTube, so you can go see us play it, which is awesome. Um, but it's just I think one of my most favorite songs I've ever put out. I don't know that it'll ever get played on the radio or, if it'll ever be a hit, but I think it's just a wonderful, wonderful song.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I'm curious. I think I wanna get into the meaning behind the song in a bit, but I'm always very curious about this, and we've been asking people as we've been interviewing them, in terms of like actual like practical ways in which you're doing stuff. So, are you like a pen and paper guy, or you're typing in your notes app and moving stuff around? Yeah, like what software you're using when you're producing, like the practical tips that someone can take away and be like, okay, I can try this out and add it to my workflow.
Yeah, I'm usually everything is here most of the time. So, um, from like inception of an idea, it starts out like in my voice notes. These are all song ideas.
Oh wow. Oh my goodness.
Have they all been released?
No, no, no.
If you got any throwaways, would
Yeah, I'll
you?
send some your way.
What?
Um, and so I'll hum an idea or sing an idea and, come back to it and see if it's any good. And then usually what we do when we co-write is I'll save ideas. Sometimes I've started finishing more like 100% songs recently. But a lot of times what I do is I say, "Ooh, I would love to hold this idea for somebody, for Sarah, because I knew going into this
Mm,
write on Discover God, Sarah's such a great writer. And I knew she could do that vibe. And so sometimes I'll hold ideas for certain people. And so then when we get into it, usually I'm using like, uh, I like to be collaborative in the note. And so we'll use like, uh, oh gosh, what's it called? Just like Gmail, like the document thing. And so I'm pretty sure I could look up the song in here. And so then we just share the link. Everybody who's writing in the room has one document that we can all see, and we
Mm.
mm,
can kind of put our ideas. Now, what I do, I stole this idea from another writer named Benji Cowart, who's written a bunch of songs. But I put like dashes across the line, and I put a no judgment line. So everything below the line while we're writing, you can write anything there. Type anything. We will not judge you. But as soon as we move that above the line, we will be ruthless and judge. We will judge the heck out of it. And so you put your ego aside and just kind of dive into that. And so that's how I do most of my co-writes. So I think that day on this song, Micah put the first kind of little demo together, um, and which was drastically different than what we landed on. But I work primarily in Logic now. I've used Pro Tools for many, many years and learned on Pro Tools. Um, John, who I worked with, he was working in Ableton. He records in Ableton. I never learned Ableton. I just, by the time it got popular, I was tired of learning new systems. And so I just decided not to learn it. Um, I think when we track drums, we track those in Pro Tools. And so we were on this song, depending on the studio and who was engineering. Um, I bet you we recorded in Pro Tools, Logic, Ableton, maybe Cubase even. And so depending on the studio, because I think the guy who recorded horns works through Cubase. So we're in all of those places. I prefer Logic. I'm a keyboard player, and it's really quick for me to bring up sounds and do things like that. And even as like a beginning producer, you can get some really great sounds cheap, like that just come with the program. it's a one-time $250 buy, and you have it forever. Pro Tools makes you buy things every day, I feel like, and so um, it's uh, it's become a thing that I work in mostly in Logic, and so uh, and then just depending on the studio, we've got vastly different types of recording setups. And so I've got a studio here in my house upstairs, and that's pretty good. I've got some nice outboard gear and a lot of vintage keyboards and things like that, and guitars and things. And so I can record there. Um, like I said, the Curb Studio has um, for all the nerds out there, they've got like a one-off Neve console that's worth $1 billion. I don't know how much it's worth. It's crazy. It's literally probably $1 million recording console on top of any outboard compressors and preamps, and um, even the reverb on the drums on this song wasn't a vintage Neve AMS reverb like rack mount unit. It wasn't nothing in the box. And so there was
Cool.
a lot of really cool stuff that we were using there, and microphones, any microphone you want, kind of thing. I think on this song I sang, I can't remember if I sang on, I've got a Sony C800G, which is a really nice vocal microphone. I may have used a U87 or a Telefunken 2247. But I can't remember
Yeah.
what I did on there. But yeah, there's a little bit of technical stuff for you.
I love the technical side of things, but I also think there's things that you're saying like you are in sessions with other people or you hear other people do it and you take it from them. So
Hmm.
the no judgment line, I'm definitely we're taking that. I think
Yeah,
it's
you
so
should.
awesome. But also even just like bouncing stuff between different
Right, yes.
tools and different writers as well. Uh we're we're in a world where you can collaborate with more people around the world, but if you don't know exactly like what the best tools to use, there can be a bit of friction. So I'm
Yeah.
always curious, what are people doing to reduce that friction, so that kind of collaboration can be a bit easier. So yeah, definitely. Thank you for that.
Yeah, you bet. And I think as long as you're organized in that, it makes it so easy for everybody because you can bounce
Yeah,
down your stems or your files and send, and they can bring it in and mess with it. And honestly, collaboration on this kind of stuff, kind of the best part. It really is, and so it makes it fun to be able to do that.
I love that.
yeah,
Yeah. So Discover God is on the Roses album.
Hmm.
Um, some amazing, beautiful songs on this album. And as you were saying before, kind of the idea of it is like just kind of seeing God in everyday life. Um, what are your favorite songs on the Roses album?
Discover God's probably my favorite, but it's hard to choose. I love Roses because of what it says. It's really a different angle on the same or a different take kind of on the same angle of like slowing down and seeing God moving in these unexpected places. Um, I mean, the record starts with a song called Mama Don't Lie, which is just
Yeah.
funky and like almost like a old 70s Chicago or, Michael McDonald song or something. Um, and with like John Bellion pop vocals on top. Um, I mean, there's so many. I love the record ends with a song about my kids, just like piano, vocal. There's a song called God in Real Life on the record that is this really beautiful kind of ballad. And then all of a sudden at the end of it, we just like the wheels almost fall off of it. We just take it to like almost like Hey Jude, Helter Skelter places, Because I was like, if we're going to sing a song about real life, shouldn't the song feel like real life, like this beautiful thing almost train wrecks, and then we pull it back in. And so there's moments of that, I think, all through the record. I wanted people to listen to it and and it feel like the first time they've heard it that it feels familiar, that they know what to do. They know like, oh, this song, I'm doing this the whole record, or I know how to react to the record, and so I'm really proud of kind of putting those songs in together in that way where I think that comes across nicely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I want to let you both know this is a an album that I want on vinyl.
Yes.
So,
Well, listen,
oh,
Oh,
send me your address. I'll send you one.
I'm just letting you know, Tino.
Chris,
Anniversary is coming up.
Chris, you've made me a very lucky husband.
Come on, man. The best part of this too, the vinyl's crazy. Wait, where's it at? How's it open? I did
Oh,
red
yeah. Oh, it's
vinyl.
colored. Oh,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
That's crazy.
It's
Yeah.
just it's so pretty.
I didn't even know that was there, by the way. I wasn't, you
That's
know,
that's the first thing I noticed. I
oh,
honest
the
the yeah,
records.
yeah,
The little
yeah.
record.
We have a similar cover just behind the camera, and it's just like records that are building up. And every time we
Yeah,
go out, it's basically like a so I need to avoid all the record shops, otherwise I'm coming back
that's
home.
right.
So,
This is mainly my wife. My wife brings home records all the time.
Cover his ears. Cover his
I
ears.
yeah.
built I built like this whole little library, so we're obsessed with like vinyls, and then it's just books,
That's
everywhere.
Wow,
so cool.
Got
that
so
is
many.
beautiful.
So it's a whole. This is my favorite chair. Yeah, this is my favorite chair. I just like to sit next to it, and this is where my day starts every day.
I think that's the next thing. I need a rocking chair next to the
Yeah,
record player.
don't sleep on the rocker. The rocking chair is where it's at.
It's a whole vibe.
Yeah.
It is.
I will say the sad thing is, I feel like in the UK, there's not a lot of Christian vinyls.
Yeah, I think people are just starting to do vinyls, I think. I'm like forcing my label to make. I had to fight them a little bit to get the red vinyl. I was like, it's just cooler. Nobody cares about CDs anymore. Let's have
Right.
something awesome. I don't really like selling posters. I'm like, I'd rather sell that and sign it for people, so they have something tangible that they can really do something with. And so, um, there's a few of them out there doing it. Hopefully, more and more will do it.
You mentioned how there's this common thread in this question that you asked at the top of the record when you were going into the writing sessions. Were there any scriptures and or even other songs that were also kind of in the
Mm,
back of your mind that kind of kept um ringing as you were writing the record?
I don't think so. I'm trying to think honestly and remember if there were. I think what I was trying to do um, was kind of come in without any preconceived anything. Because if people told me, "Hey, this doesn't work," I kind of wanted to listen. You know, I
Mm.
had my
Yeah.
hunches of what this was, um, but I really wanted to come in and just be honest to the question and say like what is this actual experience without any other preconceived thing. I think once we got into the and I can obviously probably find scripture that and like retroactively place it on top of things, but I don't know if that would be the honest thing to do. Um, but I mean, for songs like we've got a new radio single called "Holy," and it's just "Holy, holy, holy is the Lord God Almighty." It's very scripture, and so things like that are really really easy. Once we started making the album, I think I was not necessarily going after songs. Like I didn't want music to sound like another song, but I was very intentional about the feeling that some songs give me.
Okay.
So
Mm.
and so a lot of those type of songs from the 70s, those soulful kind of funky things, they elicit this feeling and emotion that I was trying to to tap into as well. And so I think more so than like, oh, I love that song, it was like, oh, I love the feeling that this genre of music gives me. So
Hmm.
can I pull something from that, you know?
Yeah.
It definitely worked.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
it's a
really.
feel-good album.
Yeah.
Good.
Definitely full of vibes.
All right. So we asked you what's your favorite song on the entire Roses record, but what's your favorite part of the Discover God song?
The intro, the saxophone intro.
Yeah.
I mean, what? It doesn't make any sense. Why is there a 45-second saxophone intro? Because we wanted to do it, and it's awesome. That's why.
I love how when I first listened to it, I was like, "Oh, is this one like a whole instrumental?" And then you started
Yeah,
singing, and I was like, "Oh, it's not okay, cool." And but no, honestly, I think it's also become my new favorite song. Like
Yeah.
it's been on repeat for a good while now. So
I love
yeah.
it.
Yeah. I love that. For me, I love like scrubbing through songs. Like, oh, I like that part. I like that part. But sometimes you like, you scrub a bit too far, but then you're like, oh,
Yeah,
saxophone intro is still good. Let me keep
yeah.
just keep listening. Yeah, absolutely love it. All right, our final question. I'll let Nestle.
Yeah. So this is a question we ask to everyone who we speak to on the podcast. Who would you like us to speak to next, and which song of theirs would you want to hear about?
I think that you should have my friend Tim Timmons on your podcast. He's a songwriter, he's a worship leader, singer, and they just made, I don't know if you guys have heard about this over there, they just made a new movie about his life. It's called I Can Only Imagine 2. And
Yeah.
he wrote a song called Even If that kind of inspired the movie. And so you can go out right now and you can see the movie. It's honestly, I cried so much because he's like my best friend, and seeing his story on film was it was crazy.
Mm.
But he's also the best human like you'll ever meet, I promise you.
Love
And
that.
so I'd reach out to Tim. He'd be an awesome guest. His perspective on life is amazing. He's got a stinking movie about his life now.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I think he'd be a really good guest.
Oh,
Thank
yeah,
you.
that's awesome. Yeah,
We'll definitely reach
we'll
out.
definitely reach out.
Tell him I sent you, and he'll probably do it.
Yeah, I was gonna say we say this to every guest. This it's a little trap. We're like every
Yeah,
time people suggest someone, we're like, well, since you know
you got
them,
to connect us. Yeah,
you can help us out.
that's
I
right.
was gonna say I can only imagine the first one. We have to be very selective about when we play it because we're like, are we in a crying mood today?
That's
Because
right.
it's so emotional.
That's right. If you were like that on one, number two is gonna, oh, it's not a,
Spoiler alert,
it's,
guys. Spoiler alert.
spoiler alert, you will cry more. I promise you. It's such a
Okay.
good
We love
movie,
a
though.
good cry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we love a good cry. But yeah, we'll definitely reach out and I think it'll be awesome to have him.
Mm,
Yeah, do that. Well, it's so wonderful to meet you guys. Honestly, next time I come over, I'm coming to the house, so we'll
Yes,
we'll,
please.
definitely.
we'll
Yes,
record
please.
something in the studio. It'll be awesome.
Yeah, that'd
Yeah.
be very cool.
Is there anything that you have coming up this year that you'd like people to know about or another friend who's got another movie that you want to promote?
No more friends with movies. He's the only one I think right now. You guys can keep up with me just on starsgodim.com or all the social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, just Stars Go Dim, and kind of see where I'm at. I'm hoping we're kind of slowly working on maybe getting overseas in 2027 to try and
Hmm.
support the record. And we've had some nice radio support there in the UK and in France and some places. And so I would love to try and work my way over there. I'm working on Big Church, and there's some other radio stations and things that we're trying to talk to there's not a bunch of places you can get over there and play. So trying to do that. What else? Just keep up, and I would love to connect with people online and all that kind of things. And I appreciate you guys having me.
Yeah.
We
Well, thank you
appreciate
so
you being
much.
here.
Yeah, thank you so much for saying yes and for taking time out of your lunchtime to talk to us.
All good, man. It's great to meet y'all.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much to everyone for taking time out to watch the podcast. We'll be back next week with another episode. And in the meantime, please go check out the Roses album by Stars Go Dim and Discover God specifically. We love that song. And also buy your tickets to go and see I Can Only Imagine 2. And yeah, take some tissue. All right.